Welcome back to Next Top Singer. We are still in the casting round. Please watch episode 1 for an introduction. Auditions may still be open, so please check the description for updated information. To make it in, you have to get a yes signal from at least 2 of the judges. 2 no signals means you are out. If you make it in, please read the description for instructions, and don't forget to confirm your role.
Now at the end, all I know that I've learned is that all that I know is I don't know a thing. So easy to close off, place the blame outside. Hiding in my room at night, so terrified. All the things I could have been, but I never had the nerve. Life and love I don't deserve. So alright, I've had my time. Close my eyes, let the death bells chime. Bury me in burgundy, I just don't care. Nothing's left, I looked everywhere. Is this how I die? Was there any other way my life could be? Is this how I die? Such a storm of feelings inside of me.
Andrew W.
Can I go first?
You can go first.
Okay, so Andrew, I saw Josh Groban in the description and I got scared when I opened this because he's one of my favorite artists, so it's really hard to live up to that. But then I heard this Josh Groban quality coming out and I just loved it. But maybe I would have liked to hear something more like Josh Groban's February song or Awake. If you can bring power into your voice, then they might suit you. Because this was a bit, it didn't have as much dynamics as I would have liked. But no pressure though to pick Josh Groban. I mean, you can still show who you want to be as an artist. But I just think that you really have that quality of voice. So that's something to consider. I listened to this so many times because this is basically my ideal male voice or close to it. So I wanted to give this a 10, but then when I really started to analyze it more, I noticed that there was a lack of dynamics in this. We are not only scoring on the voice, but also on the performance. You didn't pick the biggest part of the song. Still, this was one of my favorite auditions, and I gave this a 9.
Wonderful musical theater voice, but again, please watch the echo chamber. It can really detract more than it enhances. This wasn't as bad as other echo chambers that I've heard, but it was still distracting enough that I took off a few points. So yeah, but it's still a yes.
It wasn't an echo chamber, it was just reverb.
Oh, like reverb, echo chamber, reverb, yeah.
There is a difference between dry reverb and wet reverb. This was a more dry reverb effect, so you could still hear his voice. I think the reverb,
I can hear his voice.
I think the reverb
I
actually enhanced this performance. I completely disagree.
I didn't think it
with you
enhanced
there.
at all. I didn't like it. I think it was too much. It was too heavy. Too heavy.
You're wrong.
You're wrong.
No. Okay,
You're
Mark,
wrong.
you decide.
Sure. Well, it's 3 yeses, 5 from me, which isn't too bad by my scoring standards. For me, I think it lacked a lot of the character that it could have done just by gunning through it and using a little too much power when maybe toning it down a little bit would have been good. You know what I'm like with reverb and effects, it wasn't particularly jarring for me, so I think we can let him slide on that one this time.
No.
Yeah, so Andrea, you were wrong.
No.
Yes.
It's just that Mark never agrees with me. He always sides with you, so.
No, but I think that Mark actually knows more about audio production than you, so.
Yeah, but I still didn't like it. It was too much. It was too heavy. It was just too heavy for me. To me, it was unnecessary. I don't see why it was necessary to be that heavy on it.
I think there's a difference between reverb and reverb. There are different levels, and I think he picked just the right level.
No. But either way, moving on because we're crossing the 2-hour threshold, and I've got a dog that probably wants to pee at this point.
Far into the light at last by the cold exposing sun, I was granted freedom tame to become the chosen one. Through the mirror, night reflected, miraculous to see. My soul threw away the mask that hides the deeper me. breaking the dark of night, piercing through the painted white. Put it all away from yesterday till a new era's in sight. Unlock the heart within, let it spread its wings and soar, rising up in flight through a night of white and fly on forevermore.
All right, I'll go first because I'm talking. So, nah. I gave a yes. I gave a 6.
Mark already wrote in his score.
I said really nice voice. A lot of kind of a few pitch issues, but in general, it was good. I don't think it was necessarily the best. I don't think it was the worst. I think it kind of rolled in the middle. You're going to have to up it as we go on. If you continue in the competition, you're going to have to kind of make it a little bit more memorable, but that's where we are.
Kayla, for me, has got one of my strongest scores. In fact, tied for the strongest score with a 6. Wobble or 2 in the middle for me, but good potential overall.
Yeah, I think Kayla, you had a good use of vibrato in this. You're holding it and then releasing it, which I'm a big fan of because it sounds so controlled already. You have dynamics in this, but I want more power. And there are also some pitch issues in this. So I can't give this too high of a score, but I gave this a 7.5.
A bird with a word came to me, the sweetness of a honeycomb tree. And now a look was taking over me. Couldn't fake it if I wanted to. I had to wake up just to make it through. I got my patience and I'm making do. I learned my lessons from the ancient roots. I choose to follow what the greatest do. A bird with a word came to me, the sweetness of a honeycomb tree. And now a look was taking over me. Couldn't fake it if I wanted to. I had to wake up just to make it through. I got my patience and I'm making do. I learned my lessons from the ancient roots. I choose to follow what the greatest do.
I think his voice has a lot of potential, but he really needs to watch the song choice. This did not show enough range at all. It was just really the same few notes over and over to me. I don't know. It just wasn't a great song, but I still think there's potential enough in the voice to say yes, so.
Okay. Okay, so for me, CJ, this was the same melody over and over, so it wasn't really that exciting to me. But I did hear a very nice raspy quality in your voice, so that saved it for me. You have a very pleasant voice.
Basically talk song your way through it, so I don't really know what you can do, but again, enough to see another entry and see what you really got.
Hi, I'm Benjamin. I'm 18 years old. I'm from Sweden. I think you would call me a baritone, and I'm adept in my falsetto. I'm afraid of all I am. Mine feels like foreign land. Silence ringing inside my head. Please carry me, carry me, carry me home. I'll spend all of the love I saved. We were always a losing game. Small town boy in a big arcade. I got addicted to a losing game. Oh, oh, all I know, loving you is a losing game.
Benjamin Duzs.
Okej, så Benjamin, jag håller inte med för din falsett var inte så bra. Det var ganska pitchy rakt igenom och du är ganska nära sådana voice cracks ibland. Jag är den största Eurovision-fanet du kommer att hitta och jag älskar Duncan Laurence, men jag känner nästan inte igen låten för du ändrade melodin så mycket. Men jag hörde en ganska fin kvalitet utanför falsetten faktiskt, speciellt när du började lägga in mer kraft bakom det. Det här var nästan ett ja för mig, men det var för pitchy. De sista få sekunderna var jättebra faktiskt, men jag måste ge det här en 4,5 och ett nej.
I think I understood a few words.
And it's a no from me as well. I mean, if you come in and say that your falsetto is proficient and then miss 80% of the notes, well, that's kind of not a smart thing to do, really.
Yeah.
You gotta love the confidence. You gotta love the confidence, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it was a no from me too. I basically had pretty much the same comments. I actually like the higher register, but it really started to get pitchy and sounded like you were straining. If you would have just kind of, I don't know, if you work on it, I think a little bit more, I think you can really get there. But right now it's not there. And I'm worried about you hurting your voice by straining it, by trying that falsetto too much. You got something to work with. It just needs to be worked on and then come back if we have future competitions.
Yeah, love the confidence actually, but you need more than that. You need to back it up too.
Yeah, true.
Head underwater, and they tell me to breathe easy for a while. Breathing gets harder, even I know that. Blank stares and blank pages, no easy way to say this. You mean well, but you make this hard on me. I'm not gonna write you a love song, 'cause you ask for it, 'cause you need one. And you see, I'm not gonna write you a love song, 'cause you tell me it's make or break in this if you're on your way. Not gonna write you to stay. If all you have is leaving, I'ma need a better reason to write you a love song today.
Struggling in the mid-range, and definitely to watch the song choice to not expose that too heavily. But from what I'm seeing in the upper register, that gives me hope for the future.
That is a
Okay, well, for me...
yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, either way, you go.
Okay.
You go.
So for me, Jamie, you have a nice mature quality to your voice. This song is a bit tricky though, because it's Sara Bareilles and you're missing a few dimensions from it. It was too of a straight tone for me. If you compare it to the original, then you will hear what I mean.
Okay. I was kind of like a humming on Mark's comment about the higher register, because my note says that I actually would have loved to have heard her in her higher register. I just don't think that she really gave me the register that I wanted to hear. I think she's got it. I just don't think she gave it. I mean, she went higher, but it wasn't where I thought she could be. To me, it kind of stayed like a really like a lower high. I don't know. I didn't hear the high register that I would have wanted to hear, that I think she's capable of.
Come stop your crying, it will be alright. Just take my hand and hold it tight. I will protect you from all around you. I will be here, don't you cry. 'Cause you'll be in my heart. Yes, you'll be in my heart. From this day on, now and forevermore. Yes, you'll be in my heart. No matter what they say, you'll be here in my heart always.
So Tristin Thomas, this was a good song choice for your voice, because you had this kind of nasal quality that Phil Collins has actually. But for a competition, it wasn't a great song choice, because there was no dynamics or range in this. Just because you like a song, it doesn't mean it's a good audition song. You need to think about the qualities of your voice that you need to bring out. But I did like that run in the end, so I gave this a 5.5.
I'm just going to go with a 5.5 and ditto, because that pretty much was everything that I was going to say, so.
That's another clean sweep. A 4.5 from me. Fell off on the lower notes a little too much, but there is potential there.
Hello, my name is Jamie. My username I usually use is Japanlover79, and my casting call username is JT21. I'm going to be singing Let It Go in English and Japanese for a minute. Weird, but I hope you like it. Snow glows white on the mountain tonight, not a footprint to be seen. A kingdom of isolation, and it looks like I'm the king. The wind is howling like the swirling storm inside. Couldn't keep it in, heaven knows I've tried. Can let them in, can let them see. Be the good guy you always have to be. Conceal, don't feel, don't let them know. Well, now they know. Ari no, mama no. Sugata miseru no yo. Ari no, mama no. Jibun ni naru no. Nani mo kowaku nai. Kaze yo fuke. Tsukushima sama kanai wa.
I'll start with Japanlover. It just didn't feel like it was in the right key for a Japanlover. And it's a huge song, but it just didn't seem big enough the way it was delivered. I would focus more on making it big, getting the drama in there, getting the emotion in there, rather than trying to transition from English to Japanese. I mean, this is a big number. This is the moment of Frozen. You just weren't paying attention to the actual emotion of the song and the actual power of the song. I would have picked either just do it straight in English, do it straight in Japanese, and focus on the quality of the song. It's kind of cool that you showed us you can do 2 different languages and that you're proficient in 2 different languages, but it just didn't work for me. So I think you've got a good voice, but unfortunately it's a no from me now.
I agree with you, Andrea. I actually didn't recognize the song at first, and that's not a good thing because it was so overplayed a few years ago. There was no energy in this. It sounded kind of sad, actually, and this should be uplifting, so that's not good. And there was no power in this. It was a terrible song choice, and I have to give this a 1.5.
No, going a 2 from me. Felt very nasal and kind of lacking a lot of basic techniques. I think that's let down. I'm not seeing any real route to pull that back in time for the next round.
And I was the mean one again. Wow. But I think we're pretty much on the same page, so.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Ari. I am 15 years old, and I will be singing The Circle of Life from The Lion King. There's far too much to take in here, more to find than can ever be found. But the sun rolling high through the sapphire sky keeps great and small on the endless round. It's the circle of life, and it moves us all through despair and hope, through faith and love, till we find our place on the path unwinding in the circle of life. There it is. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed.
Yeled. It makes me think of Yellen, the bank director, or the Federal Reserve, whatever. Yellen, you know. Okay. No, you don't? No, whatever.
No, I don't.
It was in a Swedish quiz show.
Oh, okay.
They had a question, who is the leader of the Federal Bank Reserve in the US? And that is a woman called Yellen. But whatever, that is the side point. So, okay. Yeled. It was kind of a weird song choice for your voice, but you do have an interesting voice quality. It's this kind of alternative singer, so I always look for special voices, so I have to put you in, and I gave you a 5.
Special unique voices. I don't want to be delivering bad news here or anything, but it's another no, and another 2 for me. Nasal and flat, not a winning combination for me.
I knew it.
I'm torn. I think there is something in the voice that would progress as we move forward if we gave him a chance, but I didn't think it was a solid enough entry that it kind of made me, I was really torn about it, but I am going to lean to yes.
Okay, I don't have to argue yet. That's good.
Let's go in the garden. You'll find something waiting right there where you left it, lying upside down. When you finally find it, you'll see how it's faded. The underside is lighter when you turn it around. Everything stays right where you left it. Everything stays, but it still changes ever so slightly, daily and nightly, in little ways, when everything stays.
Very pretty, a light voice, but my problem is, can she pull off a strong performance? It's one of those voices that just seems naturally light and airy with no serious power behind it. And that can be both beautiful and a pitfall. I'm really hoping that she can bring it in future episodes, if she makes it.
Spoiler alert, she is, because it's a yes and a 3.5 from me. For me, on that volume thing and the projection thing, it seemed more like mumbling rather than just not having it there. So my advice is make sure to project next time, show us what you've really got. And if she is able to do that, and it's not just a voice that doesn't have it, then hopefully we'll see some big things next time out.
Yeah, and spoiler alert, it was gonna be a pass anyway, because I also said yes. It was,
so there you go.
Yeah, it was a bit timid for me though, but it was rather on pitch, so that's the main thing I'm looking for, like I've said. I do want more of that lower range though, because that was quite exciting to me. This was mostly one range though, but you did show some other things. More volume next time too, I think.
名もない花には名前をつけよう一人の寒さに凍えないように綺麗なものほど変われやすいならももろくはないだろう透明な体に色が混じるように読み進めたページの向こうをおいでと君が笑っていたいつだって何回だって新たな世界始めようか僕らはストーリーテラー愛も希望も戦望も歌う今日の絶望も糧になってバネになって強いものになれ
Okay, so Waffu, or how do you say that name, Andrea? I think it's Japanese.
I would say Waffu.
Waffu. Okay, so Waffu, you have an amazing voice. You sound so experienced, actually. Everything was so controlled, so clean. You were so creative with the a cappella performance. I love those harmonies. They were so clean and everything. Everything was pretty much perfect to me. But I'm missing that wow moment in this. You did show power though, but I do want more still. More contrast between the different dynamics. And it was also a slightly abrupt ending to me, so be more careful with your entries in the future. But I gave this a 9.5.
Okay, I'm going to swoop in here because I've got a little bit of bad news.
Oh, God.
I mean, it's not bad that I'm going to say no to her because it is 5.5, which is good for me. And
That's bad. That's bad.
That's still really bad.
Well, here's the problem, because that 3-part harmony that you're so keen on because of how clean it is because that's an octaver effect. She's not singing 3 different parts. So that is the issue. Going into later rounds, we would expect the harmonies to be recorded as individual parts and mixed together to make it sound natural. For that, it was pretty obvious what was going on. Very good use of it, and overall, I enjoyed the entry a lot, but I know exactly what you're doing. It's a little bit of a cheat, and generally, multi-part harmonies are recorded as separate recordings and then mixed together.
Well, Mark, I actually remembered that you said the same thing about Scarlett in 2019 in her audition, and she actually said that her harmonies were recorded, even though you said that was a vocal effect. So are you sure?
Pretty sure. I mean, if it's not, then fair play, and that is supremely well done. But, you know, generally any kind of double tracking and harmonies, you want to have a little bit of that human element in there to make it sound like it is natural rather than something that you've just thrown together with a plugin. I mean, to be honest, a lot of the plugins, they build in some kind of human error thing for drum tracks and for octave and that sort of thing. So it just seemed very processed to me. I could be wrong, but, you know, to be that on point in all 3 registers seems unlikely.
Yeah.
Maybe she's just that good.
I listened to the song and I can understand maybe what you're saying, that it was a little too on point. It might have been manufactured. But if I just listened to the actual voice and if I took out all of the background vocals and things like that, I still think she's got a very on point voice. And it kind of reminds me, I don't know, you might disagree with me, but I think it kind of reminds me of Ginga somewhat.
I'm gonna live out my life
I still think it was a strong performance. The voice is there. It is an 8.5 for me and a yes.
I didn't get Ginga at all, but
See,
that's
I got
interesting.
Ginga. I just felt like there was a little bit of a Ginga quality there.
Okay, it's gonna be exciting in the future rounds then, because we all know what happened with Ginga.
Yeah.
They won, by the way, for any new listeners.
Yes, they did.
Hello, my name is Philip Birdener, and I will be singing the Beatles' Revolution by Lennon and McCartney. Thank you very much. You say you want a revolution, well, you know, we all want to change the world. You tell me that it's evolution, well, you know, we all want to change the world. But when you talk about destruction, don't you know that you can count me out? Don't you know it's gonna be alright? You know it's gonna be alright. Don't you know it's gonna be alright? You say you got a real solution. Well, you know, we'd all love to see the plan. You ask me for a contribution. Well, you know, we are doing what we can. But if you want money for people with minds that hate, all I can tell you is, brother, you have to wait.
Another scraped pass for me, 3.5, and good enough to get through. Some timing issues and too much talk singing for a minute-long entry, but showing enough potential to progress.
So for me, Phil, you get plus points for the audio quality because we can actually hear your voice clearly, and that is super important. But the singing itself was not amazing. It's rather pitchy at points. However, I do like that cool rock quality that you have in your voice. Just practice and get more dynamics in it, and you could be really great. I love the distortion in your voice.
It wasn't a solid audition. It was not the best song choice, but there's still something in the voice that I kind of want to hear what he can do in the future. So my 5 was a yes leaning 5.
Hello, my name is SageBoltVA. I've been singing for about 10 years now, and I hope you enjoy my audition.
Vesti la Giubba e la faccia in farina, la gente paga e rider vuole qua, e se le chin tin vuole colombina, ridi pagliaccio e union applauderà.
I'm always surprised when I hear opera in this singing competition. It was a little bit rough around the edges, but I do applaud you for being different. That you have the balls to do this, because not everyone has that. With a little bit of training, you could become a really powerful opera singer. Right now, you're not quite there, but I still gave this a 6.
Did it sound to anybody like maybe they were standing a little bit too far from the mic?
Oh, yes, that's true.
To me, it sounded like it was so distant sounding. You know what? I understand that sometimes when you have to sing, especially opera, and you get to like higher notes, that sometimes it might overpower the microphone. There are ways around that without having to stand like 100 feet away so that we could barely hear you. But from what I could hear when I did amplify the sound a little bit, I still think it's a nice voice and there's a lot of potential there. I would like to have rated it a little higher, but I could only give a 6, but yet it's still a yes from me.
Is Mark gonna be dramatic? I'm still waiting for that dramatics.
No, it'll come, but not this time around. Okay. I've just clicked off of the window, which is always handy. There we go. So it was another yes and another just about scraping through. I would love to hear something a little more mainstream and see how you can apply your voice to that and if you can make it work. But unfortunately, I'm not seeing any opera career on the table.
Not food.
Oh, wow.
Not food.
That's harsh.
No, not food. That's not food. No, let it drop.
Nope,
drop it,
that's
drop
not
it,
food
drop
for
it.
thoughts.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for dropping it. Good. Oh my God.
I knew your dog was going to make an appearance. It always happens.
I think she's like half German Shepherd, half kangaroo. That's the only thing I can think of. So I'm just exhausted.
Right from the start, you were a thief, you stole my heart, and I, your willing victim. I let you see the parts of me that weren't all that pretty, and with every touch you fixed them. Now you've been talking in your sleep, things you never say to me. Oh, tell me that you had enough of our love. Just give me a reason, just a little bit's enough. Just a second, we're not broken, just bend, and we can learn to love again. It's in the stars, it's still written in the scars on our hearts. We're not broken, just bend, and we can learn to love again.
I think Alexander's got a very green voice. There's a nice quality that can be trained, but I think that we need to give it some time and then try again if there's a future season. But right now, I don't think he's ready.
So for me, Alexander, I completely agree with Andrea. You did have energy in this, but there were a lot of voice cracks and you need to train that control.
Okay, I guess we're all pretty much on the same page. I like the uh-ohs in the lyrics because it was definitely an uh-oh, I've got some high notes that I just can't hit coming up, and he didn't. It was pretty much as expected.
I was waiting for that. Okay, that was the last one for now. There will be a second wave. Thank you so much, guys. This was really fun. Glad to be back. It was actually sooner than I expected. I didn't expect to start this soon, but I think we needed to start early this time because of the great interest, which is really awesome.
Yeah, with all the entries, we're gonna need we need this extra time to get ready for the next round, so.
And that is the end of Wave 1. We will be coming back for a second wave of auditions in a month, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe.